All right, we're going to do a new project, and this is going to be called the letter transformation. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 5 boxes, and in each box you're going to get a little different projection of a transformation. So if we started off with the letter here in the first box, box number 1, and box number 5 is our finished product, a butterfly, then this box in the middle is going to have to look something a little bit like a butterfly. You'll get more detail in this one, and in this one you have more detail. There's the body, and this one is going to look more like the bee is starting to change its shape a little bit. You have different, something like this. So in 5 boxes, you got your letter at the beginning, you got your butterfly at the end, and there'd be more detail in it. You don't have to put a lot of detail, but this should look like a finished butterfly. In the middle should look like it's in between the butterfly and the first one. The second box, box number 2, should still look like the letter B. The box number 3 should look like both. And box number 4 should be leaning more towards what your finished product is. So you're adding a little bit more detail each time so that the finished product looks just like this. Now, there's going to be, you're going to have to show me your sketch first. You're going to have a sketch first. When you get a sketch to show to me, then I'll give you this piece of paper. This piece of paper is 18 inches long, and we're going to divide the paper, and we're going to have little spaces in between the paper so that there's frames around everything. So if we take a 1/2 inch off the top and 1/2 inch off the bottom, that means that this is 5 inches tall. We're going to have a 1/4 inch space in between. This is called the gutter when you have a comic book, and that's what we're working on to the next project. And the gutter is the space in between your frames. There needs to be a 1/4 inch in between there. And again, to remind you on the ruler, get a close up on the ruler starts at this little line right here, not at the wood. This is the inch line. It's the longest line behind the number. A 1/4 inch would be 4 of these marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And every 4 marks, this would be the next longest lines on the ruler would be the 1/4 inch lines. Let's get a spot here between 2 and 3 where you can really see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So these next longest lines, these shorter lines up here, are the 1/8 of an inch, and these lines in between, every 4 is a 1/4 inch. So that's how you get your measurements. Remember, if you're going to measure at the top, you have to measure at the bottom. You have to measure at the top and the middle, measure at the top and the bottom, and that way you're able to draw lines straight across and then get your spaces in between. Once you get that done, you're ready to start putting your shapes into. Let me show you some examples. This is probably the best one that was ever done. Starts off with the letter Y, and see the Y has got some coloring in it, and then the next one it's got even more detail starting to happen, and the Y is starting to change its shape a little bit, and now some more pieces are coming out of the Y, and even more detail, and the most detail in the very last one. So we get to move this camera up, maybe we can see all 5 of those at the same time, and you can see there's a slow transformation. There's the Y at the beginning, your letter. There's your finished product at the end. In the middle, it kind of looks like it could be still, it's got that Y shape, but it's starting to have some bird shape to it. You got a little bit more detail here, and the most detail in the last one. That's the bird. Here's one that starts out being the letter I. The letter I starts to shift around, starts to change its color, starts to shift around, gets lined up like this, and then it's a hot dog and french fries. These are just examples of ones that have been done in the past. Here starts off with the letter A. This is like a cursive letter A maybe, or a printing letter A. And it starts to separate. It starts to turn into two pieces. And now the two pieces are starting to take on the shape. I think there probably should be a little bit more dolphin shape in this piece right here. Now this is okay, but you really don't see this circle start moving up until this one. So I would have a little bit more dolphin shape in that, or make it a little bit bigger or closer to the size of this. And our last one is the clown. But remember, you have to start off with a sketch first. And start off with the letter X. The letter X grows some feet and some hands. Then it starts to get a little bit more detail. There's hands, feet, and a head. Some details in the clown suit. Even more details in the clown suit. And the finished product here at the end. So you can see there's a moderate or mild transformation from the X at the beginning and the clown at the end. Still has a little bit of that X look to it. So get your sketch paper out. Don't stick with your first idea. Try to come up with 2 or 3 ideas. Let's make this official. Come up with 3 sketches. 3 sketches like this. You see it didn't take very long to do that. And with your 3 sketches, we'll pick the best one, and then we'll move on to giving you the paper and getting it measured off. Have fun!